welcome back. Before we get started with today's video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and leave a comment down below. So I'm here with Kate Hawkins and she is an actor musician based in London. Kate, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. I'm trying to keep myself busy, as I think sort of we all are really. It's like obviously a really strange, difficult time. And yeah, so I'm just trying to stay busy. I think as actors as well, it's really difficult to kind of know what we can be doing and stuff, especially when you're on your own. So I'm trying to sort of do lots of like voice gyms and sort of dance workouts and things to sort of keep my body and my voice in check, so that I feel like I'm in control of something. But it's hard. It's really hard, I think, when you're at home, you know, because you're used to doing these classes and sort of interacting with people and working together. So I think suddenly feeling on your own with it, like I say, you kind of feel like you lose that control in a sense. So yeah, just trying to keep routine and stay on top of things so that hopefully we can sort of be in a good place for when, you know, we can all be back together again and hopefully back in the theatre.
Yes, for
Fingers
sure.
crossed.
Fingers crossed. So I just wanted to ask you about your thoughts on online theatre.
Yeah, so I think people have done an amazing job on sort of finding really creative, innovative ways of still making theatre happen. And I think it really is just testament to people's creativity and imagination to make these things happen. And, you know, we've got technology to thank, I think, even though we can't always count on it. I think we've got technology to thank for being able to make these things happen because, you know, we're so lucky really that even in these times we can still make theatre and still kind of communicate with each other and collaborate.
Yeah.
Which is obviously such a key thing for us. And it's tricky. Like it can feel really, really isolating and lonely if you're not able to do that in person. So, you know, it's never going to be the same as being in a room with people, but I feel that it's definitely making the best of a sort of a bad situation and doing the best that we can to still keep things exciting and fresh.
You took part in a Monologue Slam.
Yes.
That was hosted by Ethereal Theatre.
Yes.
How did you hear about that opportunity?
So I had seen about the Monologue Slams happening via social media. Obviously, I was aware of the company's work anyway. Had seen the Monologue Slams, but also Ethereal Theatre were great. They were doing a lot of other workshops and everything all online. So I saw the Monologue Slams a few weeks before and finally just kind of challenged myself to, you know, I think we kind of make excuses to ourselves like, oh no, I'm not going to do that, blah, 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 blah. And finally I was just thinking like, no, I need to scare myself and sort of still make sure that I'm challenging myself. So yeah, so I think I was like, okay, I'm going to go for it. It was Women's Week. So it was just great to be able to take part in that week where there was so many amazingly talented women. It was just a great opportunity that I couldn't really pass up.
The night you did Monologue Slam, you did two contrasting monologues. You did Viola from 12th Night, and you did a piece from this show called When Mel Fell for Nell.
Yeah.
Got that right. What inspired you to do those two monologues?
Well, when it comes to the Shakespeare, I love Shakespeare, and 12th Night in particular I think is definitely one of my favourites. And I've always loved that speech because I think it's sort of a classic Shakespeare speech in the sense that you have all these layers. You kind of you have the heartbreak and you have the humour, and you kind of, you know, in Shakespeare you're always kind of flitting between the two almost in every line. And I think that that speech is such a perfect example of that. And yeah, I've always loved it, and I've always loved doing it. I think you can always find something new with it. Yeah, so it's an old favorite, I would say. And when it came to the when Mel fell for Nell speech, I wanted to try something different because I'm very keen on the Shakespeare, and I feel like that's always kind of been more my strength when it comes to the monologue. So I wanted to challenge myself to find a contemporary monologue, and also something that was comedic, because again, I didn't necessarily feel that that was what I would kind of go to normally. So I was trying to challenge myself and find something that would be different. And actually, again, it's just a funny, silly speech that I thought was sort of really fun to practice and play around with, and really fun to perform as well. So yeah, I think it was definitely the humor in that one that sort of drew me to that, for sure.
And just so people are aware, I'll include the link to the Women's Night Monologue Slam, the night Kate took part. So that's in the description down below. When you did the Monologue Slam, of course, you're in the comfort of your own home. So did you find yourself getting nervous or getting butterflies beforehand? Especially because...
Yes, 100%. I was so nervous. Even all day, like before, it wasn't just when I was coming up to my performance, I was like feeling the butterfly. All day I was so nervous. And it's really silly because you kind of think, well, it's just you and your phone. So like, what does it, I don't know. I can't explain it. I was so nervous though. I think it was the aspect of it being live maybe. And I think we get so used to having other people in the room, and you really feed off of other people. Yeah. And, you know, you make eye contact with them, and, you know, you kind of have them laughing or watch, you know, and it's just, it makes such a big difference. So for it to just be me and my phone, and that was it, you can't gauge anything, you can't read the room, you can't use people to like bounce off of, there's nothing. So it almost feels a bit like a self-tape situation in a way, but it's not something that you can go back and do loads of takes. It's going out live. So it was definitely a good experience because, like I said, I got so scared and it was something completely different.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting, but so different. And yeah, surprisingly, I got really, really nervous. Strange, very strange, but definitely a challenge that I'm glad I took on.
For the record, like, we the audience, we couldn't tell you were nervous.
Oh, thank you. I was very nervous. Thank you.
Because you're doing, you used your phone for it. Did you alter your warm-up, or did you do like a full body kind of warm-up, or did you do...
That's a really interesting question. I don't think I did really. But having said that, I feel like I did my regular sort of breathing exercises and sort of vocal warm up, but probably not so much of a full physical warm up actually that I would normally do. And now I say that, I don't know why I wouldn't do that, but yeah. Yeah, and I think it probably is as well, like this, going back to like this self-tape thing, we're so used to when it's just us on our phones, having the chance to go back and do things over and over and over. So to kind of marry up the two of it being sort of live and, you know, you do it once and that's it, but also it's still just you and your phone, it's a really like interesting concept, I think. And I don't know if it would have come about actually if it wasn't for, you know, this pandemic and lockdown and everything. I don't know if we ever would have come to this, which is kind of, you know, a blessing in disguise as well, because we've found this whole other platform and this whole other way of doing things, which I think is really exciting. But yeah, it's certainly different.
Doing it over, we did it over Skype when we did the Monologue Slam. Did you have any likes? What did you like about doing a live performance over Skype, or what were your kind of like dislikes, if you have any?
Again, I think it was just the fact that I liked that it was something different. It's something I've never done before. I mean, I think this was sort of quite early in the quarantine lockdown period. Following that, I had a few auditions that were over Zoom. So in some ways it helped prepare me for that, because that was quite a similar experience. I think it's just that thing of the fact that it was live. I think that was what made me nervous, I suppose. But you still, like I said, you kind of still feel that slight distance from who you're communicating with, because they're not in the room with you. So it's that thing of like, oh, you know, am I sort of looking at my phone and trying to like look at everybody on my phone, or, you know, do I just do it, you know? So it's kind of all those decisions that I think you have to then make, which I liked. I liked the challenges that it brought up. And like I said, I kind of enjoyed the process of challenging myself and pushing myself to do something that I found scary.
I think in life and in acting in general, it's important, it's crucial to do things that scare you, because I don't know, it pushes you forward and you grow, and it helps you to develop.
100%, exactly. And I think that's what we're doing all the time, is sort of pushing ourselves all the time to sort of beyond what we think our comfort zone is. I mean, every time we go on stage, I'm always there thinking, oh my God, like, why am I doing this to myself? I can't remember any of my lines. Like, I can't do this. What am I doing? And then you do it and you come off and it's the best time of your life and you can't wait to do it again. So I feel like sort of we as actors do thrive on that a bit as well. Yeah, and I think that's the thing that's just been tricky in this period, is still trying to keep that fire going and do things that scare you and challenge you, because it is hard, you know, because there isn't sort of a lot going on, and it is hard to keep yourself sort of motivated and everything. But yeah, 100% I agree. And that was definitely an example of me thinking, oh no, I don't know if I can do that, and then saying to myself, but why not? You know? So I think I'm constantly trying to challenge myself and keep saying that to myself, but why not, you know? And that was definitely an example of that.
Kate, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise. Just before we go, where can the people find you on social media?
So my Instagram and my Twitter handle are both at Kate_Hawkins1.
People do follow Kate on Twitter, and I'll put that in the description down below. Kate, thank you again, and I'll see you soon.